Ravens. Ravens called to us to remember those faceless names. A number, try and reach out and touch it, but you can't grasp a soul. A life as it drifts by and leaves the blue of babies' tears as guards laugh like ravens. Crematorium stands alone, a gravestone to those who did not survive. Elimination at the hands of those who wanted to wipe us out, leaving us to remember them and their memories and stories, ever trying to understand something so inexplicably brilliant. How each step slid from words into smoke of rage and fear for those that stood and looked up at the towers and the stars, and yet no matter how far, gaze could not see Tikva. So now we sing and we live to be able to imagine how they would have shaped our world with understanding of our task, never again. Songs for the afterlife. The symphony crescendos into the black and white past and bounces generations forward. They stand, voices raised to God, seat, chuckling with gratitude, fingers entwined with melody, clean and pressed. A moving photograph of forgiveness and hope. Just a witness, digging to find truth in the graves of vast unanswered questions. We open hearts to suitcases of eyeglasses and gas chambers of gold teeth laid in patterns of yellow stars. Step away. Close your mind. Stamp out their spark. You were not a witness, so stop digging up what they covered. The animal that spits out men. It reaches down to hold my hand, wraps its branches around my waist, it presses its trunk into me, embracing my whole body in its foliage. Wraps its branches around my waist and whispers images into my eyes of those who could not leave, who could not run, and whispers images into my eyes, the noise of the animal that spits out men and leaves them to wander into ash from which it grows. The noise of the animal that spits out men and becomes fire, from which comes life out of the ash and hope out of the pain and out of the forest reach tree. Forest. A steady rhythm, a marching step, a waiting moment before your death. A voice and silence, a smell of smoke, a prayer of wonder before your death. An intake of breath, a cold steel door, the words I love you before your death. Number. I count steps down onto the grass as the 6 million emotions flood my brain. How could there really been so many that walked in here and never walked out? I trudged through 13 gas chambers, only a third still stand, while there are 7 crematorium, and hundreds of thousands shoveled their friends and daughters and cousins through them, and we keep track of their numbers, and we count days they were here and minutes till they died, and yet how many is 1.5 million children? And what does a catacar filled of over 100 people look like? Where are the names and the faces and the families? Why can't I hold these people's hands and feel the pulse of their desires? Because they are now only 1 and 2 and 10,486 of 6 million or 1.5 million or 10,000.